The purpose of the university, it's based upon free speech, free inquiry, the open exchange of ideas. It is an on-ground campus. And right now, the censoriousness in traditional academic institutions is, and I think it's really important to call things what it is. It's not the liberals who have taken over the institutions. It's the authoritarians who have taken over the institutions, traditional academic institutions. So this is not a conservative university. This is a university like Hillsdale, for example, would be a conservative university. They have a conservative slant. Victor David Hanson teaches there, conservative professors. This has people from all over the intellectual, political, moral spectrum. And when I say intellectual spectrum, I mean, they've published different things, scholarly outlooks, different epistemologies, different ways to approach problems. And it's needed because our institutions now have been hijacked by maniacs. The process of accreditation takes some time. And what they're doing now is they're having this forbidden courses program, and they're getting the wheels greased. They're getting faculty members. They're putting the institution together. And they're also buying from, I'm not involved in any of these decisions, but my understanding, they're buying a considerable amount of land as well. And so these are just like pilot programs, the first forays into the arena. And as the university advances and matures, so too will things like the accreditation follow. The credibility, and I would urge people to look at the credentials and the gravitas, former presidents of Harvard University, of the ACLU, I mean, it's truly a who's who in the academic world. And the gravitas of those folks, Steven Pinker, I mean, so many people are part of the university and the institution. It's easy to kind of throw out a comparison. It's very difficult to build something and to make something. I think it genuinely is a place where please remain seated, people debate ideas from all over the political spectrum. People have honest conversations, and they don't feel like they have to walk on eggshells, and they can substantively engage controversial issues. In fact, the first thing that's coming to the on-ground campus is the forbidden topics courses, and they're going to have classes in which nobody else will teach and nobody else will talk about it. But I think it's really important, if I may say something, they're not just going to throw students in the water in the deep end and just expect them to swim. So I'm going to teach in the beginning part of that. I wrote the book, How to Have Impossible Conversations. Most of my scholastic work is on the Socratic method, conversations across gulfs and divides. How do we improve critical thinking and reasoning, moral reasoning skills? So I'm going to go and teach the beginnings and talk about, okay, what do you do if you hear an idea that's offensive? How do you ask the right questions? How do you navigate these things? So nobody is thrown in the deep end and just expected to float. We're going to give them a roadmap and a pathway to ask better questions and what to do when they're confronted by ideas they might never hear or they may be shocked by. One fellow even said, I'm caught in an insane asylum. Everybody's gone crazy. I will work for half. That's other people. That's another theme. People are saying not only do they want to go to what Pano and I actually put myself in this group, if I may, and we are trying to do here, the university, they're actually going to work for less money than they're making. They're desperate to get out. They can't stand the illiberalism. They can't stand the censoriousness. They can't stand the diversity statements. They can't stand pretending to believe something that not only do they not believe, they just know it's false, but they can't do anything about it lest they receive accusations of bigotry or discrimination. Unfortunately now, philosophy has been, again, to be very blunt with you, it's been hijacked by ideologues. And I'm interested in a genuine engagement of an idea. I'm interested in the Socratic tradition and the Socratic project. And yeah, it's true he killed Socrates. At times he wasn't, he's a very unpopular fellow, but he asked the hard questions. He asked questions that we had to ask. And those questions are just absolutely indispensable for an education. And you're not finding those questions being asked in traditional universities. In fact, professors are coming into the class with answers, and they're coming into the class with answers to moral questions that comport with a single moral orthodoxy, something that's very morally fashionable now. That does the students a tremendous disservice. It does the people who are paying tuition a tremendous disservice. And I want absolutely no part of that whatsoever. I want to maintain my integrity. It's very easy to both look at the extreme cases of wokeism and the extreme cases of ideological capture, and even the moderate cases of ideological capture. But what people don't look at it is that this ideology has penetrated so many institutions, and venerable institutions too, the ACLU, the SPLC. It's in the military now, it's in medicine, it's in our main medical journals right now. We know the source of this, we know the origination point, and it's the universities. The universities wholesale, and this is a sweeping statement, and it's also true, are doing students an injustice. And it's not enough that those of us who are against this authoritarianism and illiberal censoriousness sit around and scream about it all day. We have to build something. We have to give people an alternative. And that alternative should not be a conservative alternative or a libertarian alternative. That should be a genuine diversity of opinion. So we come and we bring in the best people to talk about the best ideas on different sides of the coin, and we give students a roadmap and a way to understand and make sense of those questions, and then they decide. This isn't an indoctrination mill. This is what a university should be.